Coming up on Cedar Valley Today, a cancer-causing gas could be in your home. We'll tell you how you can get rid of it.
And find out how to get your hands on some unique musical instruments.
And later we'll tell you all about a farm unlike any others in the area. All that and more coming up on Cedar Valley Today.
Hello and welcome to Cedar Valley Today. I'm Kelsey Bemis.
And I'm Nicole Lyons. The month of January marks the beginning of the new year, and it is also recognized as National Radon Action Month.
Cedar Valley Today reporter Jeannie Edson is here to tell us about this harmful gas. Jeannie?
Thank you, Kelsey. Radon is colorless, odorless, and tasteless, and it is the second leading cause of lung cancer. Not scary enough? It's likely to already be in your home.
The state of Iowa is known as a top producer of corn, soybeans, and livestock. But many Iowans are unaware of the cancer-causing gas produced right in their basement. Retired teacher Marcy Fritz was pushed to learn more about radon when the dangerous gas hit close to home.
Our longtime school nurse, who I taught with, died of lung cancer. And when her husband, very good friend of ours, when her husband asked them, what they thought might have been the cause, because she never smoked, they said probably high levels of radon.
Radon is a natural radioactive gas. It is formed when a uranium molecule found in soil decays. Iowa currently has the highest average of radon concentrations in the United States. Iowa State University Extension Coordinator Ron Length hosts radon awareness programs across northeast Iowa. He said the gas can enter a home in many ways.
It enters it through the soil, and that could come through the basement walls, either through the foundation, cracks, possibly through the cement. It could be through crawl spaces underneath the building. It could be also through plumbing.
The Environmental Protection Agency recommends using an at-home test like this to check for harmful levels of radon. Marcy Fritz said it was a test like this which alerted her to high levels of the cancer-causing gas in her own home. She then warned others about the potential dangers of radon.
And so we made up a flyer, and we took it to all the houses if they weren't there to talk to, and told them about our situation, because a lot of them have their kids sleeping in the lower level anymore.
It is taking precautions like this which can help save lives. Reporting for Cedar Valley Today, I'm Jeannie Edson.
Length will be hosting a program on how radon works, testing procedures, and possible remedies at 7 p.m. January 30th at the Denver Public Library. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jeannie. Senator Charles Grassley visited the University of Northern Iowa this Wednesday to discuss the topic of whistleblowing. Grassley says he has been a longtime supporter for whistleblowers. They are people who expose corruption or wrongdoing in the government. Grassley has made many stops in the Cedar Valley this week during Congress's first recess of 2014.
Our government is all about the public's whistleblowers are not respected the way they should be. I know most of them to be patriotic people. Most of them are not in it for any gain for themselves. They just want to do their job. They just want government to function.
And now we'll turn to Cedar Valley Today's Elizabeth Jewett to take a first look at our forecast.
Thank you, Nicole. Today we're going to be looking at some cloudy skies or some windy weather this morning at about 8 a.m. It'll be about a high of 13 degrees, and then as we move on to about noon today, we're going to see some cloudy skies with a high of about 22 degrees, and then later on at 5 p.m. it's going to be a possible chance of flurries, so in a high of 28 degrees. So be careful when you're driving out there today.
And we're getting a little warmer. I mean, we're not at that negative 26 wind chill we saw yesterday.
We're starting to get warmer. There's going to still be about like a -6 wind chill today, but I mean, it'll be warmer than it has been in the past.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, with those extreme low temps means extremely high energy bills.
Cedar Valley Today reporter Jesse Kielman found out what that means for us consumers.
2014 brought with it the coldest temperatures recorded in 13 years, which means an increase to many customers' heating bills. I spoke with Mid-American Representative Abby Bontenfield, and she says this past December was on average 13% colder than normal and 29% colder than December of 2012. Now, if you remember, record lows hit the state of Iowa on January 5th and 6th. Many areas reported sub-zero temperatures. As a result of that cold, Mid-American customers broke gas usage records on those days. Obviously, this increase in usage means an increase to customers' bills. Bonfield says Mid-American has programs in place to help these customers. One such plan is the iCare program. This allows customers to donate for others' heating bills, and Mid-American will match it by 25%. Another option is budget billing, where customers are billed the same monthly based on average usage. Mid-American also offers free home efficiency checks. Professionals can come to customers' homes to offer personalized advice on how to lower costs and be more efficient. Bonfield also offered tips that everyone can use to keep their bills low.
Our main recommendation is to make sure your home has adequate insulation. This includes the attic and exterior walls, floors, basement, crawl spaces. Be sure to insulate around furnace ducts and boiler pipes as well.
If you're interested in these programs, you are encouraged to call Mid-American Energy at 800-535-0762 or go online to www.midamericanenergy.com.
The state's capital has seen high rankings in more than one national poll lately.
The Today Show called Des Moines the city where regular folk can live a rich life. It says the city's cost of living is almost 10% below the average for the country. Forbes magazine also awarded the city the top spot for business and careers. Coming up in just 2 minutes, what you need to know in today's Top 5.
And hear about a farmer who has decided to start a different kind of farm. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Cedar Valley Today. 30 are dead and around a dozen missing following a fire in Quebec nursing home yesterday morning. The CBC reports that many of the people who lived in the building had Alzheimer's disease and used wheelchairs or walkers. Around 20 people escaped the building safely. Officials are unsure what caused the fire. Ukrainian anti-government protesters agreed to a truce yesterday. Opposition leaders also met with President Viktor Yanukovych for a second round of talks. Hundreds of protesters have been clashing in the capital of Kyiv since Sunday. Protesters told politician Vitaly Klitschko that they would suspend further action until negotiations were over. Hundreds of abortion opponents in Kansas rallied on the 41st anniversary of Roe v. Wade Wednesday. Before the march, pro-life supporters gathered for a Catholic Mass at the Topeka Performing Arts Center. Governor Brownback and pro-life advocates say they are committed to the pro-life movement and standing up for the rights of unborn children. Two political groups linked to Chris Christie's re-election campaign have been subpoenaed in a New Jersey bridge controversy. The controversy stems from accusations that Christie's aides ordered lane closures on the George Washington Bridge to get revenge on the mayor of Fort Lee for not endorsing Christie in the last election. Christie says he didn't know about the closings. Justin Bieber posted bail yesterday after being sent to a Miami jail in the morning. Police pulled Bieber over for drag racing. He was charged with drunken driving, resisting arrest, and driving without a valid license. After failing a sobriety test, he also mentioned smoking marijuana and taking prescription drugs.
Thanks, Kelsey. Cedar Valley Today reporter Ashley Davis joins us now to tell us how a new local business is impacting the Cedar Valley.
Thanks, Nicole. In Cedar Falls, there's a new farmer in town, but probably not the one you're used to seeing in Iowa.
Cattle, hogs, and crops, typically the kind of farms you see here in Iowa. But one farmer in the Cedar Valley is doing things a little differently.
We're standing in the facility of Northern Iowa Shrimp Farm. It's actually Northern Iowa Shrimp, and we grow Pacific white shrimp for consumer consumption.
Right here on University Avenue in Cedar Falls, Northern Iowa Shrimp houses 40 hot tubs, all filled with hundreds of thousands of shrimp, ranging from less than a millimeter to about 6 inches in size.
Weicker says that while there are many fish in the sea when it comes to owning a business, shrimp farming is what he and his wife saw the most potential in.
We actually laid out the pros and the cons of each type of business. This was just one of those on the list, and this just happened to outweigh the pros than the cons.
But why shrimp in the Cedar Valley? Weicker said there was a need for high-quality seafood in this area in which he wanted to fulfill. And being able to purchase fresh shrimp locally has changed the way Northern Iowa shrimp customer Eric Dow buys his seafood.
The freshness definitely comes through. There is a big difference between having the fresh shrimp from the shrimp farm as opposed to the frozen shrimp you get from the grocery store.
David Albrecht is a cattle and hog farmer just outside of Shell Rock. He believes that in addition to supplying the Cedar Valley with seafood, the new shrimp farm will affect local farmers in a positive way.
Without doing a lot of research on it, I think immediately my thoughts are they're using commodities locally, have to be grown locally, produced locally, so that's probably a plus.
Despite the hard work and long hours required to run the shrimp farm, Weicker says it's all worth it.
It's been wonderful. People have been really excited, about a new business, a new kind of business, and just the thought of having the top quality product, in seafood that you can get right here in town has been wonderful.
Northern Iowa Shrimp is currently selling their shrimp for $20 a pound. They are located just south of UNI's campus at 9301 University Avenue in Cedar Falls. You can place an order by stopping in or by calling 319-553-5506. Back to you, Nicole.
Thanks, Ashley. And coming up next, how you can explore the world of music right here in the Cedar Valley. And then we'll have your first full forecast. See you in just 2 minutes.
And for our weather today at 8 a.m., we're going to see about a high of 13 degrees today with some cloudy and windy skies. And at noon, we're also going to be pretty cloudy at a high of 22 degrees, and then later on tonight with some possible flurries at a high of 28. Tomorrow night, we're looking at some sunny skies as opposed to today with some cloudy skies. At 8 a.m., we're going to see a high of about 13 degrees, noon a high of 9, and then later on tonight at 5, it's going to be a little cloudy, and it's actually going to get colder at about 8 degrees. Later on for the weekend forecast, Friday 33 and low of 13 degrees. Saturday, we're going to see a high of 13 degrees and a low of 12, so pretty stable on that. And then Sunday, we're going to see some more possible flurries at a high of 28 and a low of -14. And for our statewide highs in Mason City and Waterloo, we're going to see about 30 and 29 degrees, and Cedar Rapids is going to be about 29. In Dubuque, we're going to see about 27 degrees, and then for our Council Bluffs, it's going to be about 50. And then we're going to go ahead and head over to our interviews.
The Vogel Library at Wartburg College is bringing exotic cultures to its campus. The library is officially introducing its new world music instrument collection this semester. Vogel librarian Jill Weston is here to tell us about how you can use these instruments to win an upcoming contest. First of all, can you tell us a little bit more about this contest, like when and where they can audition for it?
Sure. Well, actually, the contest is sending me recordings, either video or audio recordings. And the one rule is just record a song using at least one of our music instruments. We've got 10 different instruments from around the world, and you can check them out for a week at a time from the library.
All right. What kind of instruments do you have, and where are they all from?
Well, we currently have an instrument from each continent, except I don't have an Asian instrument right now, unless you count the Turkish spike fiddle. Turkey's not really in Asia, yeah. And I brought a few of them to show off. I don't know if you want to.
Yep, you can do that right now if you want to.
So this is a balafone from West Africa, and then we've got panpipes from Ecuador. And probably one that gets a lot of people excited is a didgeridoo from Australia. And then probably the most complicated one, which I don't know if I can show you, is a berimbau from Brazil, and it has several pieces. So it's a little more complicated than the other ones.
And so if people don't know how to use any of these instruments, can they ask you for help, or where can they go to kind of learn how to play these?
They can certainly ask me. I also purchased a book, at least one book for each instrument to teach you how to play it. I also have a website that has links to encyclopedia articles and YouTube videos and things. And in some of them, like the berimbau that's complicated, I have a tip sheet inside the case.
Okay. And how was Wartburg able to bring these instruments to campus?
Well, we had a little extra money in our budget last year, and so I thought I'd do something fun, and I work with the music department. One of my liaison areas is music, and so Dr. Paula Stavilla is an ethnomusicologist, and so I asked if she'd like to help me pick out some world music instruments.
It's very interesting. If people want to use these instruments, how do they come in contact with you? How do they, go about using them?
Sure. They are on permanent reserve at the library, so you do have to ask for them, and then we get them for you from behind the desk. So you probably want to know ahead of time what you're asking for, which you can find out from the website I have on the instruments. Otherwise, it's just like checking anything else out. Check it out for a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty
Thank
simple.
you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Again, if you would like to enter the World Music Instrument Contest, you can send the audio or video file of your original song to jill.weston@wartburg.edu by April 4th. Coming up after sports, Dancing in the Cedar Valley, a local organization gives you the chance to dance your socks off. And then in sports, see how 2 multi-sport athletes are transitioning into their winter sport of choice midway through the season. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Cedar Valley Today. I'm Nathan Ford. The Wartburg women's basketball team had lost 7 in a row in games decided by single digits coming into Wednesday. The Knights look to reverse that trend against BV on the road. Playing without lone senior Carly Jacobs, who tore ACL Saturday, Wartburg needs someone else to step up. Alyssa Sager could be one of those players. Gets the awkward runner to go early in this one. Near the end of the first half, the Knights go inside to Kaylee Kladovo, who gets it to go. Knights up 36-32 at the break. Second half action out, Chelsea Wedeking thinks about the 3, but instead kicks it to Bobby Burrows, who nails it from outside. Knights up by as many as 6 in the second frame, but they couldn't close out the Beavers in regulation. Shelby Wiederhoff gets the putback. We're going to overtime, tied at 72. Wiederhoff would get the first basket of overtime, and the Beavers were up by 2. But Kaylee Kladovo, one of 3 Knights to record a double-double, and she gets her 20th points of the night with 45 seconds left, the eventual game winner for Wartburg in overtime. Alyssa Sager and Allison Emmerich also had double-doubles for the Knights, who are 2-3 in the league and take on 6-time defending IIAC champion Simpson on the road Saturday. The men's basketball team was also in Storm Lake to face one of the top Iowa Conference contenders Wednesday. BVOA is one of the toughest places to play in the conference with a great student section. It was all about Nick Clark for the Beavers. 29 points for the sophomore on 7 trays, including this one. BV up 16. Knights get within 10 at the break as Clay Cook finishes at the rim. But Clark stayed hot throughout in this one, nailing the jumper as the Beavers were up by as many as 18 in the second half. Wartburg mounts a comeback, though. Midway through the second, freshman Nick Weber tips the pass away, chases it down in the backcourt for the lay-in to cut the lead to 6. But after Clark stole the conference leading scorer Cole Darrow's thunder, Darrow had his opportunity as he hits the tray to allow BV to pull away 79-67. The loss drops Wartburg to 8-8 overall and 2-3 in the conference heading into Saturday's road game against Simpson. Wartburg Athletics has had many dual sport athletes over the year. We're going to get to know 2 more of them here in the winter season.
Dual sport athletes come and go. There aren't too many of them. Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders were some of the last guys to play 2 sports professionally that really made a difference. Both played football, baseball, offense, and defense. These guys made dreams seem like reality. Nowadays, athletes tend to focus on one sport. However, at Wartburg, we have 2 such athletes who still play dual sports. Senior Taylor Jacobsmeyer and sophomore Logan Pitts both play football and basketball for the Knights. Dick Paith, Wartburg men's basketball coach, said both do a great job and are impact-type guys who are also on top of their classes.
As long as they're able to, A, handle their academics and B, have a good experience, and we welcome that opportunity here.
Jacobsmeyer played quarterback for the football team. He threw for 11 touchdowns and rushed for 4 more. Pitts played defensive back and had 26 tackles and 4 interceptions. Both had to make the transition from football, which ended after basketball started, and both say it wasn't that hard.
It's not just the same thing the whole time. I mean, it switches halfway through. I'm playing football for half the time, and then I switch to basketball.
Both said playing dual sports wasn't necessarily on their mind, but the coaches really helped out.
Both coaches were really good about me doing both. They both encouraged it.
Not only do these 2 shine on the gridiron, they also stand out on the courts. They both contribute minutes and points for the basketball team. Reporting for Sports Night, I'm Ryan Jorgensen.
Go to wartburgcircuit.org for all the latest Wartburg sports coverage. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Cedar Valley Today. The Cedar Valley Dance Club is hosting its annual Showstoppers dance event.
The event started 4 years ago by a member who wanted dancers of all levels to get a chance to learn. Anyone can attend the workshops or watch the event. It starts this Sunday at 12:45 p.m. Dancing showcases will go to about 5:30.
People who are interested in ballroom dance, which encompasses really everything, swing, tango, cha-cha, waltz, any type of dance, to come and first of all learn if they're interested, and second of all just enjoy an afternoon.
The Wartburg Music Ensembles were joined by a special guest this week. World-renowned composer Morton Lordson is working with Wartburg choirs and the Mason City High School Choir in his time at the school. He has composed pieces sung by choirs worldwide. A concert with his music will take place Saturday night at 7:30 in Newman Auditorium. And now we'll send it over to Elizabeth with our final look at weather.
Thank you, Kelsey. Monday, we're actually looking at some pretty cold weather. We're going to actually have a high of only -9 degrees and a low of about -18. So make sure, if you can, stay indoors. Tuesday, it's going to be a little bit sunnier, but not much warmer. It's going to be a -1 for the high and -9 for the low. And then Wednesday, we're going to have about a high of 12 degrees. So thank you for watching Cedar Valley Today.
Make sure to tune in next Wednesday for more news and check out the stories you saw today on the Wartburg Circuit. Have a good day, Cedar Valley.